final game on Saturday features Tennessee and UCLA. This will be the nightcap on Saturday, I believe. But this game really is kind of interesting. I don't have a great feel for it, I wouldn't say. Two teams I'm not super high on. Never really have been super high on UCLA. I maybe was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit earlier in the year. But overall, like, they're just not a great team in my opinion. However, if you watch them today against Utah State, you think they're like a top 5 team in the country, I guess. Maybe the Mountain West just deserves 0 bids in this tournament because they just cannot win. I think ultimately, I think UCLA's offense is a little bit overrated. I don't really trust it that much. And the guy, as you've talked about a bunch, Adai Mara, that they need to utilize to get good offense. Mick Cronin just has such variance on how much he plays him. So, I think Tennessee's defense, while it's not probably the same, it's not quite the same elite defense that it's been, despite it being like 4th in according to Torvik. I think they're going to be able to kind of shut down what UCLA does best offensively and pull out a win here. This line, I think, sits at what, 4.5, 5 for Tennessee. I think Tennessee does get a bit undervalued in the market. So I'm going to side, I guess, with Tennessee here, but I think both teams are just kind of like, to me. I'm just not that polarized by either.
Yeah, 2 very defensive-minded teams, obviously. I mean, with Cronin and Barnes, that's what you're going to get for the most part. And yeah, the offenses, metric-wise, are actually better than like how I anticipate them. And maybe I haven't given them enough credit. But I do think Cronin's offense is dependent on how many minutes he gives Adai Mara and even Tyler Bilodeau. His minutes he's been giving Bilodeau have been a bit shaky, especially lately. I mean, Mara got 20 minutes today against Utah State, and he played some pretty significant minutes, had like 10 points, 6 rebounds, threw in 5 blocks as well. Like, you see a guy have an impact like that, and you don't throw him out there for consistent minutes, at least throw him 15, like in the 15 to 20 range for rotation minutes. Like, I don't really understand it. And I actually think he could be extremely useful in this game where it is really hard to generate perimeter offense against Tennessee. I know they give up a lot of threes or 3-point attempts, but they're one of the best 3-point defenses in the country because they contest pretty much every single 3, every single spot up opportunity. So I think having a viable post-up game could give Tennessee some problems. Like, Harpar is not the greatest post defender, so getting Mara the ball on the low block or in the high post area, like, I think could actually generate some offense. But at the end of the day, I don't trust Cronin to throw Mara out there for consistent minutes. So I'm going to consider the UCLA's offense to be overvalued, to not really be in a fantastic spot. And for Tennessee's offense, it's a tough read. I do think they can get on the offensive glass in this game. UCLA, they get forced into rotation a little bit by design. I mean, they try to deny the rim and they hard hedge every single ball screen. Tennessee doesn't really run ball screens. They run a lot of off ball screening action, and I think UCLA does a solid job of taking that away. So there's kind of a lot going on with the matchup, but I do trust Lanier and company, I think, to make enough shots to be able to squeak this game out. But at the end of the day, it's going to depend on who Cronin has in the lineup. Definitely going to side with Tennessee, but as I'm watching this game, I'm going to monitor the rotations and see what they're up to there, and potentially, like, I guess from a betting perspective, maybe a live betting opportunity. But besides that, I don't really have a ton on this game. It's not, at first glance, I don't really have a good feel for it, but I'll side with Tennessee. I'll side with a better team, the team that's been more consistent and just the overall better team all year.
Yeah. I think one area to kind of follow up on your offensive glass point about Tennessee, right? They're 28th in offensive rebound rate. I think they can have some success around the rim. Where they, even though they don't have like a great like big that can score at the rim, they're going to really like play through in the post a ton. They do have the 61st best 2-point field goal percentage at 54%. UCLA's 186th in 2-point defense. But then to go even further with that, they allow 63.2% on close twos, so inside 5 feet. Tennessee just has a bunch of guys that play super hard. Like Jemai Mashak's a guy. If you watch the SEC tournament at all, he flies in for rebounds from the guard position and has a bunch of success and also is a good finisher around the rim. So, depending, especially on, like you said, on UCLA's rotation, if Mara's not in there to kind of alter some shots with his size, I think Tennessee should be able to get to the rim, finish with ease, draw some fouls, because that's the one weak spot of UCLA's defense, right? Especially where they get into rotation a bunch. Tennessee can drive closeouts and get to the rim that way. On the flip side, for UCLA, I do think they could maybe have some success, like eliminating Lanier a little bit. I would anticipate probably Kobe Johnson guarding him primarily. That would be my guess. I don't know. Maybe he's able to kind of just run him off the line, not let him really be physical with him, not really let him get a lot of easy catch and shoot opportunities, make him have to put it on the deck and make a play. They could have some success there, but I think that actually it's going to be like a Ziegler attacking the rim type game, Mashak getting on the glass type game, and Tennessee getting to the foul line actually. I don't know. That's just my feeling on it.
Yeah, I think Tennessee has more paths to offense. Like they can score at the rim if they're not having a great day from the perimeter. Obviously, the UCLA doesn't allow a high rim rate, but once you get there, you can have some success. And I think getting to the rim through the offensive glass, I think, is the way to go here. And they can get to the free throw line a little bit too. UCLA fouls quite a bit, so I think the shot volume battle is with Tennessee, and potentially the efficiency could be there depending on what kind of rotations Cronin throws out there again. That's what it's all dependent on for me. So yeah, I'm gonna back Tennessee here. I think it ends up being a pretty tight game, really slow paced game that obviously is probably going to be a more defensive style of game.
Yeah, and the slower the pace, right, the less likely it is for a team to pull away. So I think we do see a slower paced, tighter game, but ultimately Tennessee pulls away, advances to the Sweet 16.